Well, hey everyone, time for Geocache Talk. Whether you're at work, in the car, wherever you are, we hope you enjoy the show. Please give it a like and subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Overcast, and Spotify, and others, so you can get all the weekly Geocache Talk goodness. Big thanks to the Travel Bugs for the music and our patrons, Demon Hunter 2, Electric Water Boy, Aggie Jedi Master, Antaeus, Joshua, the geocaching vlogger, Nick at Cashly, One Kind Word, Butterfly Girl, Loon Trackers, the Aussie Geocacher, Sodak Zach. We'll hear more from him here in a moment. The Deadliest Cachers, Terrell 2, Neil Moore, Team D&D, Geocaching Adam, Peachy 1276, the No Code Geocachers, Curiosity Girl, Tick Magnet, Marsipanic, Bricker John, Firesafe, FS Abero, Geo Rick, Cache Addict Mel, Geocaching Janji. Well, what do you know? Look at her. The Geocaching Junkie, Sir Drumalot, Janice, Tricassius, Tom Frey, Rugels, the Bruce Zero, EGK, PBR, Casamaya, Master Sergeant, USMC, Little Gears, Albedo 0.39, It's Only Barney, Purple Turtles 3, ACDC Family, Rock On ACDC Family, None of It Tidy, AFK Geocaching, Josh Boggs, Carrot Killer, Korsgat, Geocaching with Lampe, Bren Tim 07, Dave and Karen, Cache Canada, congratulations on your anniversary, Team Tailwagger, Black Chrome, Super Nate, The Twonky, Burnt Turtles, Padib, Kazelli, Dragon, Gunter Hunters, Acme Wild Cachers, P0001, 80K Sarah, and our new patrons, Eastern Girls, KC, Billy Robson, Fox and the Hound, and TX Wolf Totem. If you'd like to become a patron, head on over to patreon.com/geocache talk for more details. Patrons get path tags or X tags, depending on what we have. New blackout coins. Ooh, let me grab a blackout coin because they're kind of cool. And we've had good reviews on the blackout coin. Sweet. Jesse's on mute, but I know that's
that's a pretty sweet coin.
Yeah,
I need that.
You need one of those? I think there's one hit. I think there's one headed your way, and also to Angie. I think I sent those off recently. So
these are
coming your way.
Very, very limited release.
Yeah, just patrons. We're not going to sell them. We're not going to give them away or anything like that. So, just what we want to do, especially special for the patrons. Other geocaching items during the year, well as bonus content, invites to special events only for patrons. Support levels start at as little as $3 a month. Well, let me start by welcoming my co-host, Jesse.
Good evening.
And let's jump right in because it's going to be a big night. We got a lot to cover. But let's jump right into show 108 for July 22nd as we welcome back to the show, The Crew. Angie.
Hey, everybody. Nice to be here.
And Zach.
Oh, it's so good to be back.
We got the crew back together. Are you guys ready for tonight?
Nah. We don't have any plans tonight, do we?
What are we doing tonight?
I congratulate you for not giving this away before now.
Oh, thank you.
I know that was really, really hard. And I'm already here twice, so one of me can go.
Right. All right, well, let's get this over with. Let's get the big reveal. So, Zach, give us the big reveal.
I am quitting geocaching. Just kidding. Nope.
Spill it.
Well, my geocaching crew is growing by one. I just got engaged on my last trip.
Woohoo! He's getting engaged. That's awesome. Do you have a date that we can kind of all crash your party?
Yeah, July 6th in Mankato, Minnesota. I'll give the coordinates out later.
What's the GC for that event? I'm not sure.
Yeah, what's the GC for that?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, that's it.
Oh,
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for joining
tonight.
Time
to go back to Shark Week.
That was the big reveal. So, yep. No, wait.
No, I don't think that's it.
That's not it?
No, I think Angie has it.
Angie, the big reveal, Angie. This is what we're waiting for. Give us the big reveal.
Kind of like Zach. Our team is growing by 1.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now we're going to have 4 in our family pretty soon.
Yoo-hoo. That's awesome.
You're gonna beat me to all the caches with that many. You got a little army looking for them.
I know. It's going to be awesome.
Beat me to all the Dakota caches.
We'll see.
And remember, the name Jesse works for both a boy or a girl. Just going to throw that out there as information. You can't come up with the name.
It's a good idea.
I've tried that with all my friends, and none of them have named them Jesse yet. But I'm going to keep trying.
No.
That is awesome. So, we're thinking January, approximately January for the due date.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. As I'm everybody pushes
Angie,
for the birthday.
Will hers be a Gaga event?
Oh boy.
They're getting worse every week, Zach. Oh, come on now.
You missed me.
That's right. Awesome. Well, and you could do a thing, Angie, where you hide, or somebody could hide a geocache, and then we would destroy the geocache, and when we destroy it, it'll have the color. So,
that would be cool.
I don't know.
To figure out how to do that.
We don't want to destroy the geocache.
Something cool.
Yeah, come up with something cool. Probably knowing your husband, we probably need to throw something up and he hit it with a bat. Yeah,
that would be a good idea. I haven't thought about that.
That would work.
He would enjoy that too.
Being a baseball dude, that would work out great. So he hits it in the bursts into color as they all do nowadays and stuff. So,
so that was the big one. Now we're done.
That was the big reveal. So thanks everybody for joining.
That was so much fun.
Like that?
Yeah, so exciting. I'm glad we've got it out there.
Show's over. Well, I waited forever. I couldn't want to share those 2 items, so no. Now those were awesome.
Yeah.
Those are really good. Really good.
Hard to beat good news like that.
Hard to beat. We do have something else. We have another big reveal, but wait, we'll get to that here in a moment. But first, we've got some news we want to cover.
The news.
We need the noise. We need the voiceover noise with the.
Yeah.
I know we lost our noise.
Breaking. Yep. We got an email a little while back, and I kept it, knowing that Zach would be on, and we had a chance. We really didn't have a chance in some of those past weeks with last week with C. Michelle and Stardust. It didn't really fit. So tonight I thought it was kind of a cool fit. We got an email from Steven, aka Barnyard Dog, and he sent something. I want to read it, and then we'll kind of discuss it a little bit. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I want to read part of it because I found this interesting. And then Zach, fill in the blanks, since you went to Malaysia, so this will be cool. He says, I follow the show with half an eye from way out in Malaysia because it's really early in the morning when he's watching the show on Monday. I like how you keep track of the webcam caches, among other things. Most lists covering webcams are horribly incomplete. And because of this, most people do not believe there were ever 1,000 of them. And he's right. When you go back, and he has a list, and we'll publish the lists. He has 2 lists. So we'll publish them. He has one for the United States, one for the world. But he found that there were 1,008 is what that was at the height of webcam caches. There were 1,008 of them, more than twice of what you can find on the largest webcam list. So apparently, if you go look for webcam lists, they're not really complete. So he wanted to create a list that was complete. So he went through painstakingly and got all of them together. And we're talking about a lot of effort because a lot of them are archived now, obviously. What are we at now, Jesse? We went and took a quick look.
Yeah, 275 worldwide. We're down to 109 active right now. Unfortunately, one of them in my state just went on the disabled list too. So I don't know if it'll come back or not. So if that one goes away, we're down to 1 in my state. That's kind of sad.
That is very sad. How many are in South Dakota?
1.
1. How many in
North
Dakota?
1.5.
Well, that's the AR. We'll talk about that one in a minute too.
Oh yeah.
North
we
Dakota.
We don't have any. 0.
Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah.
But all right, so he sent the note along, and he says he made these lists for us, and he says, in addition, I would like to mention that I'm a fan of webcam caches, and I have recently created 7 caches in Malaysia that follow the principle of a webcam cache, even except HQ forces me to call them physicals. He gave away 3, and he mentions that Zach, you scored an FTF on one of them.
Yes, I did.
Way to
And
go.
I waited a crazy long amount of time. And he did. It was funny because he was actually accompanying me because we were on a walk getting a bunch of different caches. So that was a lot of fun.
Right.
Great. I basically had half a day where my entire family had a different flight flying up to Japan.
Right.
And so I was completely fine with having a half a day to myself.
That's cool.
So he actually met up with me and we went looking for some caches. And so he was standing there and he actually offered to take the screenshot for me
Right.
while I was out there if he could. So he was looking on his phone. I was looking on my phone. And I sat there and I was waiting and he said, yeah, it's about every 15 minutes that it cycles through, or maybe it was 5 minutes. Felt like an eternity. And I was standing there waiting to screenshot it. And I was like in the middle of this street on like this little piece of sidewalk in the middle of the street where all the intersection where all these cars are coming.
Right.
And I finally like just walked back over to him and I'm like, it hasn't like cycled through or anything.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got your picture like 6 cycles ago. I was wondering like if you needed to get like a funny picture or something for your Instagram.
Right.
So
That's
I
funny.
didn't say anything. I was just waiting for you to be done doing whatever you're doing. And I'm like, no, I wasn't loaded on my phone.
That's awesome.
And we figured out whatever the problem was. But yeah, it was kind of funny because I was just sitting out there like an idiot.
No, that's good.
Just waiting for it for forever. And he was just wondering what I was doing. So, but
Awesome.
no, it was a lot of fun. And it's fun to look at those pictures. And it seems like people have really appreciated the idea.
So in a sense, based on, we could get more information later, but so he got these published, right, as physical caches, but yet it's related to web cameras in a sense, right? Is that what I'm kind of gathering from the...
Yeah, so how he did it was there's a traditional cache there, like a little blinky that's on the sign that you're standing next to.
Right.
And you sign that to prove you were there as a traditional cache.
Sure.
But it's optional is to take a webcam photo and upload it. And it's actually an ingenious way. If all you have is like a normal geocache to hide, like you can hide that. And if you still want to get favorite points, just do it at a webcam location.
Right.
And then just say the webcam's optional. And you didn't really have to do much. You just provide a link and all of a sudden the favorites come flooding in because people miss webcam caches.
Gosh,
and
they
it's
do.
interesting you said the 1,000 thing.
Yeah.
Because what if they brought it back and just said, we'll never have more than 1,000 active?
Right.
You know? That way they keep it really rare. I don't foresee them necessarily doing any of that, but...
Go ahead, Jesse. You were going to say something?
I'm laughing at Angie. They're taking the selfies.
She's taking pictures of herself on the show. I love it.
Yep.
It's funny.
No, not to get off on a tangent, but I like what Zach. If they still would keep it rare, they would mean something. Whether they cap it at 1,000 or only time to, like we mentioned before, only time to the geotours, so only official geotours can have them, or something like that. That would be that would still keep because if they were, if you had 100 in every state, nobody would care. Because they're not really that great other than the fact they're rare, right? I mean, it's not that hard to go, oh, it's great. It wouldn't be special if there was everywhere. Yeah. But if they keep them rare, it's something neat for us, I think.
I think they're really concerned from what I can tell, and I'll tell you why I think this. I think they're very concerned about there being that a GPS is required. GPSR of some type is required, like to do a geocache.
That and a physical container. They seem to be really concerned about that too.
because I don't know if anybody else that's listening has ever done
Except for the events.
Well, yeah, events, but they kind of figured that. Which that's a whole for a whole other show. Take a drink. But if anybody's trying to do a library cache recently, and this may just be my reviewer, and I love our reviewer here in Texas. He's great. He sent me a note because I told Jesse, hey, I've got a library cache I posted or public, listed, but it hasn't been published yet. And here's what came back. And again, I don't want to get off on a tangent. We got too many other things to talk about tonight. But he said that because you're not using your GPS to find GPSR to find the library cache, then you have two choices. Either you can have the clues be in the library and have the physical cache outside, and the stage, sort of stage one of the cache be inside and have the final outside, or you can have a stage outside the library that leads you to the final cache, as it were, inside the library. So, which is different than because Susan and I found a cache in McKinney. It's in a library, and it just takes you, the coordinates take you to the front of the library. And it says, go in, here's a little bit of info, and go find it. I don't know if you guys ever found library caches before, but have you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I found them where I think the one in town here is where it's just that, and you have to find the certain numbers, but the numbers aren't coordinates. It's the Dewey Decimal System.
Right.
And then the book it takes you to is actually just a notebook that you sign, in the geocaching section of the library.
Well, and so I set mine up like the one that we'd gone to in McKinney. And so there's enough information. It's in the reference section, so it can't leave the library. And it's got a log in it right now. I slipped it into the cover of the book. And I worked with the librarian, and they're like, perfect, we're in. We love this. And so I published it, and they're like, no, you got to have some sort of usage of the GPS. I'm like, well, you did. You have to use the GPS to get to the front of the building.
Yeah.
And so my argument, I'm sort of debating whether I want to make it like they suggested, make it a multi, or I might come back, since I know him a little bit, I might argue with him a little bit about, hey, this isn't any different than an Earth cache. All an Earth cache does is get you near it, and then you find information, right? I mean, you're not.
Well, and like somebody mentioned in the chat room, Letterbox can help you get around that too.
Oh.
Because Letterbox, you start at coordinates, and then you use directions, and you can do clues and stuff like that too.
Okay.
But or
Take it to the
there's a lot of
Supreme-
things you can do.
Take it to the Supreme Court.
That's right.
I don't want to go that far.
You can always appeal, and we may need to do another show on that, the appeal process. Because a lot of people have never done that. Appealed something to.
I've never done it. I'm scared to death. I'm scared to death. I'm going to piss off.
We should have a section of the show where we jokingly hear out cases from out in the field, and we like make our own decision. I think people would tune into that and just do it tongue in cheek.
The kangaroo court, we have our own.
Yeah.
No, denied. That cache has to be archived right now. That's it.
Yeah, we'll get Gary a gavel, and Jesse and I'll choose each side. And
give me a little white wig, and
yeah.
All right.
No, denied. Okay.
We got to keep going, or we'll never get to it. But I'm going to do one more side note before
Go
we
ahead.
keep going.
Do your side
So
note.
we're talking about different things and the appeal process. So I think I mentioned it on the show. I know we all talked about it offline, but I had an AR cache that was a webcam, the reverse webcam cache.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through all this. We had to. The reviewer helped me a lot because if people don't know, those AR caches are actually going to headquarters, and headquarters is decide on each one of those, not the normal reviewers.
Right.
So my reviewer finally helped me, went back and forth, and I finally got this AR webcam. It was kind of he did the appeal for me this time to headquarters, and we changed a few things. So finally it published. So it's kind of a reverse webcam. That's what it's called. You still have to take a picture with the AR and, same thing, but there is a physical container also.
You don't have to take a picture of yourself. You can take it.
You could take it of your shoe. It wouldn't matter. Still going to give you the coordinates, right? They were very concerned about that selfies are pretty much anti-selfie at geocaching. Right. So,
very anti-selfie, yeah.
But the funny thing with all that is because ARs are now less rare than webcams. You know how many people have found that? One.
Really?
All that work for an
You had
AR
one.
reverse webcam, and one person has found it so far. And it's really, really easy, so it's not like it's hard.
Well, give it some time.
But then the rarity, the specialness goes away, right? As more and more of them come out.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's kind of a
But-
balancing act. You can't, Yeah.
I've had people say already that they want more AR caches. Where down here,
Yeah.
maybe they're like, oh my gosh, that was cool. Let's do a whole ton of them, but that may just be a couple people's. So I don't know, Angie, do you have aspirations to do an AR cache or?
I still haven't done a where I go. I feel like that would be a good step.
This is like
I'm leaving.
baby steps, right? Oh, we lost Jesse. Jesse's gone. What happened? We lost him.
Adding the different apps seems confusing to me. I don't know why. I wish I could do one with someone.
Yeah,
But
like
there aren't any
one?
around here right now anyway. So
Well,
I got it.
I'm sure
I got you hooked up.
Jesse will help you create one. That'll be a quick way to figure one out. But
I suppose.
okay, Zach. We do have to move on. But anyway, you've got an AR cache out there, right? Or no? Eric does. Your buddy does.
Eric does. Yeah, I was like the instant they were coming out, I was talking with Jesse. I'm like, all right, what am I gonna have to do to get one out there ASAP?
Right.
And then Eric got one out, and he said it's been found a couple of times.
It's been found more than that.
Has it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said just mine have been found just a couple of times. So
Yeah.
he has two of them, but yeah. So eventually I'll get around to it. I still gotta get my fizzy thing done. I've just been. Nobody
your
told me that
grid.
when you get engaged, that like all your time is now spent talking about wedding stuff
Welcome.
and doing nothing else but
Yes.
getting your daily.
That's okay.
But that's okay. It all gets easy once you get
understand.
married.
Oh yeah.
And get started
Oh.
Then
with
she wants me
kids.
out of the house. As much
Yeah, I was
as
gonna say. Wait,
You get to do whatever you want at that point. Once you get married, it's all.
Yeah, wait. Yeah, hang on, because you've got not only that, but like Angie says, she has to plan ahead because she's got the little one to go geocaching with. So
Makes it much easier.
right.
That
Set a
stroke
topper.
becomes really important.
See, now you can hold Sophia up, and she can grab those caches way up in the tree. See, and you've got see.
Okay, moving on.
All right,
We're gonna
moving
move
on.
We'll never make it.
Virtual rewards. We're at 1820.
Yeah, and so I checked on that. And actually, August 24th is when they have to be submitted by. So
Okay.
we do have a little more. I was thinking August 1st, but we have up to August 24th. So we still may see some more. I'm thinking we're going to make the 2,000 for sure,
Yeah,
but
I think
probably not 3.
2000. I think is going to happen because there's probably at least 100 that are like, I've got to tweak it a little bit. I got time to tweak it. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. Or yeah, I agree. Hidden Creatures ends July 25th, which is in 3 days.
Yep. Have you all finished it up?
No.
I have not.
Oh my gosh!
I've
Swag.
been
Wow.
I've been getting my daily like every
That's
day since my Yosemite trip, and yeah, I've been I've been trying to like figure out where I can get time to just get out and finish that.
Right.
Like I said, that fizzy grid. So, plus I don't have any around town here that I can get. I got a bunch this weekend. Still got to get them logged and everything up at my cabin. But
Mhm.
how many? What's the total you need for all of them? to get 'em all?
100.
100.
Oh, I might get close.
Okay. If you get to 50, that's the last. 50 is the hidden
one.
creature before the last one. So
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah. I've seen on Instagram a lot of people are really. I've seen a lot more of them. People are really starting to get it now. They're right there at the
Yeah.
100 now. So, and several people in the chat room have got it or are really close.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
I think this was a decent promotion. There's good and bad about it, which we won't get into tonight. But
No.
at least they're
talk about
doing
that.
more and more stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Next item. I don't understand this at all. Somebody's going to have to explain this to me. There's a flat Jesse Leo encounter. So, yep. Wait, hang on. Wait. Go ahead. Do it, Zach. Same as me.
Yeah. Take a picture. There's 3 Jessies and Angie on the show.
Right.
But
All right, so what happened here? What happened? What happened?
well, I'm assuming. Well, I got to. This isn't about when I was on the show after Giga, right? This is the other one.
This is the car break-in.
Yeah. So this is in San
no.
Francisco. So I've had a couple law enforcement things with this. That's like I just realized this thing is like your ticket to getting pulled over. So we were okay. So Maggie, my fiance, and a couple friends of ours.
Congratulations, by the way. No, okay.
Yeah, that's the big announcement for
Big
tonight.
reveal. We're done.
So we actually the trip, and you can see on my Instagram, I posted some pictures from my Yosemite trip of me proposing at the top of Yosemite Falls. Yep. At the end of our trip, we were about an hour before we were going to get to the airport, and we had about an hour to burn. And of course, I wanted to get some earth caches and virtuals with that hour, and so I convinced her that it was a romantic walk over to the Golden Gate Bridge.
Right. She knows what you're doing. She understands.
Yeah, but it was right at sunset and everything. So we went out there. We park in a parking lot. We walk a short distance away. Go get our, cute pictures together. Our friends were with. Actually, our friends. It was their personal car that they had driven from Sioux Falls all the way out there, and take all our pictures. Have a great time. We return, and the back window is shattered on the vehicle.
Oh no!
And and immediately the other guy that was in our group, he went and started questioning everyone if they had seen anything. I immediately call the cops, and they send over a park ranger or something, and just telling the girls it's okay. And the stuff that was taken was just Maggie's in my backpack. And at first we were worried because she thought her wallet was in there, but it was actually in her purse. So we thought, how are we going to get onto our flight if she doesn't have her identification? Well, we go through the stuff, and even the ring case was in there. She was wearing her ring, luckily. So if it hadn't been the right size, the day after, her ring would have been stolen, which wouldn't have been good.
No, not at all.
But
that sucks.
So this officer shows up, and he's, taking any of the information. He's kind of alluding to the fact that there's not much they can do about it except take the information. And like, we're kind of SOL. And so he tells us, hey, this is about all we can do. What's the description of your bags? And I said, well, I had this light or neon blue one. She had a neon green one. And he's like, well, hold on just a sec. He goes to the back of his vehicle, and he pulls them up, and he's like these? And I said, yeah. And he said, oh, kind of rewinding, in my in the description, I was saying, he's like, well, I actually found ones like that. Did they have? And he was describing what was in it. And he said, it appears they may have taken electronics. If you had electronics, I didn't see any. They had some hiking shoes in there, some hiking stuff.
And then they dumped it.
There was a ring case that they obviously didn't take. There was a picture of some dude's face that had some weird cryptic words on the back, or cryptic letters.
Cryptic letters.
And some like mountain man's face. And my friends look at me like, seriously?
What the heck is that?
So that was used in identifying that it was in fact my bag, was Jesse's face.
Right.
That I embarrassingly had to tell the officer. I'm like, it would take longer for me to explain it. Just someone I know, and thought it'd be funny to take pictures of him at places he hasn't been. So, he accepted the explanation.
Sure.
And we got our stuff back, and they must just be electronic thieves, because that's why I'm using these headphones tonight instead of my crystal clear Apple ones. They had stolen my Apple headphones. They stole our chargers, but we didn't have
anything. Those are working. Yeah. Those are working fine.
Maggie had actually decided right before we got in the car, she's like, actually, I don't want my laptop in my carry-on because then you have to pull it out at the airport. So she moved it from there right at the last second.
And saved it.
Yeah. So the worst thing that was taken was like $100 speaker. And
okay.
all things considered, well,
That's good.
That's fine.
That's good.
So,
Well, that's crazy.
See,
I'm
I
glad
saved the day.
you
My face
did.
saved the day.
Jesse
did.
saved the day.
You're
They saw
easily
that and they're like,
identifiable.
"Oh my gosh, let's get out of here!" They dropped the bags and ran, scared
Yes.
them to death.
Easy. That's not the way I was going to go with that, but okay.
Yeah, they knew law enforcement was watching them.
That's
there
right.
you go. That's what you were gonna. That's where you were going. Hey, that's
Boom.
a cop.
So,
Pick the cop.
as good as that story was, we got to get on to the
we gotta get on to the big reveal. Let's finally reveal this thing because oh my gosh, right? I'm sure the chat room's like, get to the reveal. I'm had enough of this. All right, the big reveal. I don't even know how to do it now.
Oh,
so
not that kind of reveal.
not that
I'll take
reveal.
my shirt on.
No, don't take your shirt off. No.
Keep it G-rated.
All right. Drum roll. So here we go. We have. I don't know how to explain this. Where do we start? Jesse, I'm going to let you do it.
Let me do it. Okay. So, again, like we've said before on this show, we like to try new things. So this is another one of those new things.
This is
should
big,
either
though.
go spectacularly well,
right,
or spectacularly poorly. So,
right.
it's a new game. So, we're doing a game inside
a cache type. It's even a cache type.
Even a cache type, because why follow the rules, right? So what we're doing is we're starting a new game/contest. This is hard to describe as describing geocaching to a muggle, right?
Right.
But this is geocaching for geocachers. So we wanted to do a fun contest, and we decided, well, how could we do that other than geocaching? So we decided we would do a geocaching game, a secret geocaching game inside geocaching.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to do. It's the GT Stash is what we're going to call this, which is obviously Geocache Talk Stash. Stash harking back to the original cache. And there are, what we have done is we worked over the past 6 to 9 months, I guess, working on setting this up.
Yep.
So what we're going to do is go over some of the rules of this game and then talk about the prizes for the game and go from there, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Zach has a question already.
I just realized that I should have been in on the discussion tonight a little sooner, or months ago, and we could have really hyped this up by growing out our Geocache Talk stashes, all 4 of them.
That's true. We could have had
there you
stash.
go.
Yes.
Angie may have had trouble with that one.
I could have bought one.
You could have bought one. That's true. We could all had stashes. Yeah.
So anyway, the GT Stash game, what we're doing is a game. Obviously, it's only for the listeners and patrons too, obviously.
Right.
But it's for everybody that listens to the show. Even my dog's excited about it.
I tell you.
Background howling.
Everybody's
he's yelling out hints.
Yeah, that was the first hint. So
that's right.
These the stashes have already been hidden. We're not going to even tell you how many there are yet.
Nope.
They've been hidden across the United States. And we're going to give clues out through the show and through other means from now until somebody finds it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying not to give away too much yet because we're not going to give everything away yet.
Yeah.
So.
And I'll ask you guys some questions too, so it'll kind of help the Q&A part. So let me give a couple ground rules. One is it's similar to a geocache. So if you understand geocaching, which you should if you're listening to the show, or if you want to explain to a muggle, hey, I need your help on help me finding this GT stash, then you know that the GT stash is similar to a geocache. It follows the same hide rules, so except for proximity. We don't care about proximity because it's not on geocaching.com's website, but it's very
similar to a lot of information already.
Yeah, exactly.
Because everybody already knows the rules of geocache. If you're watching this show or listening to the show, you know what a geocache is. Any of the normal things would apply to this.
Yeah. It's not, and some of the things that kind of got us thinking about this, one was there's the show on the Travel Channel, Expedition Unknown, and with Josh Gates, and he talks about something, and I bought the book, by the way, because I found this fascinating. It's a thing called The Secret, and a guy hid 12 treasure boxes all over the U.S., but he buried them, so it's not geocache friendly. And only 2 have been found. There's 10 of them out there. So it got us thinking, though, that's like, well, we could do that. We don't want to bury them. We don't want to do all that because we don't want people digging. You know, there's a lot of reasons not to. We don't want it on private property. We don't want to do crazy stuff like that.
No.
So yeah, it's similar to a geocache. It's on public property. It's just like a geocache, except for, and it's not buried. It follows the same rules. So
yeah. And they will be generally accessible. So
yes.
You're not boating or, jumping out of a plane to get to them or anything like that. We want everybody to kind of have fun and be able to do this. So in general, they're no harder than your average middle of the road geocache at the most.
Yeah. Some of them are a little more difficult than others.
For terrain.
Yeah. There's some
now,
that
the difficulty you find them is all 5 because you don't know how to get them.
Because we're not giving you the chords. It's like, we're not going to give you the coordinates. You're going to have to figure it out on your own. But
we didn't do anything extreme like like you're going to have to hire Zach to go get it or anything. We didn't do anything like that.
Zach's not going to have to wrestle up a train trestle or something like he's done.
Right.
I didn't put one at the top of my Half Dome hike.
Right.
There's a huge hint for everybody.
It's not at the top of Half Dome.
It's not there because that's
right.
Only 40% of people get permits for there or something.
Yeah, you can't do right. Exactly.
So before we talk about how they're going to go find them,
yes,
we've kind of talked about what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So what specifically are they looking for? If they find one, what do they do?
Yeah, if you find one of these,
gloat.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Go crazy. You're gonna have to really go crazy because it's like it's gonna be cool because we're gonna talk about what's inside of it.
Oh yeah,
and we'll explain in a little bit. There's a quantum. You have to know quantum theory, so I'll teach you a little bit about quantum theory tonight.
There you go.
So don't check out on us yet. There is a secret code inside the stash. Number one. So
the stash
and
is
it's not guessable.
No.
No.
We don't want to email every day between now and the end of the contest. It's not guessable.
No. In fact, it was kind of hard enough that we all had to go, what was that code again? And we had to go through our notes and try to find it because it was not easy and you can't memorize it. So we had to go try to find our notes and try to figure it out. So all right.
So a normal geocache type thing is hidden across the United States, multiple of them. We're not going to say how many yet.
No.
With a code, the same code.
Yes.
So it's the race. So you have whoever gets it first wins the prize that we won't say yet.
Right.
And you'll eventually find out how many there are.
Yeah, eventually.
So the first one is the winner.
First one's the winner, and if you happen to find, if you're not first, but you have a really good idea of where you think one of them is, and you go find it, we will give you a prize. It won't be the prize. It won't be the loot that's in the stash, but it will give you something for finding one of them.
Right. So yeah, the big prize is for finding it first. We'll have something for the other ones, but
yeah.
So how could we possibly do this fairly? How could we set it up fairly?
Right. So what we did, a couple things. One is we're going to give out clues, and we're going to give clues out in a schedule, which we will post, because we want people to be able to start the process of sort of figuring out. You've got to sort of map it out. You're going to have to figure out, okay, if I give a clue to, say, the first one, but the next week I give it to a different one, you want to make sure you keep them all separate so you can sort of start to figure out where it is. And
this
people are
easy. It won't be. This will not be an easy one. This is a secret geocaching game inside the geocaching game.
Yeah.
For geocache, the whole geocache talk audience group, so to speak. This is not going to be easier. It'd be no fun. So.
Yeah. So a couple things. The first one, and I kind of already told some of the patrons, and we'll let everybody know now that The first one is in the lower 48 states of the U.S.
The first game.
First game is lower 48. We want to do the next one. If this goes really well, we will do an international because we love our international listeners. And we've got a sort of a plan, a partial plan in place for how to do this internationally. So bear with us, internationals. We're very sorry the first one can't be, but we had to start somewhere and we had to figure this thing out. So it's best to do it. Lower 48. Now, I know somebody's going to say, oh, well, I can't go clear across the country to find this cache, this stash. But this is interesting. Every person in the lower 48 states right now is 3 or less states away from a stash. That should be exciting right there.
So everybody has a chance.
Everybody in the entire lower 48 states of the U.S. is 3 or less states away. So you need to, hopefully that perked up a lot of people going, wait a minute, this thing is only 3 states away or less.
So even if you start narrowing it down and you figure out where it is, and you're one of those people that just does not have the opportunity to travel, you can absolutely team up with other people. Yeah. And as we all know cachers in other areas.
Right.
You may just want to go to wherever it is yourself and get it.
Yeah.
And keep all the junk yourself, which I would. Or
right.
Because I know what's in the prize pack already.
Yeah.
Or team up with somebody or team up with a group or whatever you want to do. So
it's not really it's not completely unreasonable. I think we made it we worked really hard to make sure that there was everybody has a chance. I mean, I understand some people out west are like 3 states. Seriously, I mean that's quite a ways. But really, even the huge,
but they're spread out. They're spread out for a reason.
And there's huge states out there, but still 3 states. I mean that's a trip. But yet, based on what's in it, you might want to make that trip. So
Tom said 3 states from Delaware wouldn't get you out of Central Texas.
Right. Exactly. So it's kind of,
But they're out there. They're all spread out, so that's good.
They're out there. All right. So here's
we're trying here. We're trying.
We're trying. We're doing what we can.
Trying new things. And
okay.
And remember, this is the first round. So if this goes well,
we'll
trust us, we won't be hiding them in the same spots again.
No.
No. So
that would be funny now that we can't. Now that you said that, we can.
Yeah.
And nobody will look there anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Same codes, same everything.
So moving on. A geocache type thing.
Yep.
Certain number of those are hidden across the 48 states.
Yep.
We're going to give clues.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody is 3 or less states away.
3 or less states away. Now here's how this thing
kind of what we have so far.
Yep. And this is how it works. And again, I'm not going to get into huge quantum theory. I was kidding. But here's the thing, and here's why this really works really cool. And that is inside the stash is a bunch of treasure. Now, instead of actually hiding an ammo can somewhere and hoping nobody finds it and steals all the stuff when it's not theirs, it's all sort of there, but it's not there at the same time. And it's in every one of them at the same moment. This is the quantum part. It's in every one of the stashes that are out there. And the minute somebody finds it, it then all collapses into that one stash. So all the prizes are out there.
Right. So,
but once they find it, they get all the prizes.
That was very quantum theory-like in your explanation.
Thank you. Are we ready to look at the loot now?
Well, so just to be clear, the prize pack is not at the locations of the stashes. If you get the code and send in your information, which we'll go over all the details of that too. But if you're the first one to find it, that gets you eligible for the prize pack's too big to put it in one of these caches.
Right.
Already.
It's already huge, and it's going to grow as the weeks go on. The stash is going to, the loot is going to continue to grow. And we've got a lot that we're going to put in this thing as we go along. It's already got a ton in it already. So
Carson in the chat room says that the grammarian in him has him cringing each time we say 3 states or less. We're saying it in the wrong. We're not using the right grammar.
3 states or fewer.
Fewer.
Yes.
3 states or fewer.
Hey, look, this is not a literature or English podcast.
Sorry.
We're a bunch of dumb geocachers. So.
We geocache.
3 states or fewer.
He's a grammar Nazi. It's 3 states or fewer.
Oh god,
fewer.
Oh, that's
right,
terrible.
We changed it. Yeah, my wife's from the other room going, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that."
He says we get it past though, so we're okay.
Okay, cool. All right. Do we want to start to reveal the prizes? Is that what we're up to now?
I think so. Let's talk about prizes and what that means as the game moves forward.
Yep. All right. The prizes get better than this, but we're going to start with this because you got to know this is inside the stash. So, dun dun dun.
That's it. That's all the prizes.
no. Let's hope not. Nobody's going to want to go.
Yeah, nobody goes after it.
Nobody's going for that.
Because they have it.
They have it already. Yeah, that's true. We're going to add more as we go. All right. Maybe nobody has the hide and seek book. That's in the stash. I keep saying cache. It's not a cache. It's the GTS. We'll refer to it as the GTS or the GT stash. Wait, I got a better book than those two. Much better.
They want it autographed. They want it autographed, by the way.
Oh yeah, they'll be autographed. This one though.
All right, so
finds a geocache. That's cool. So those books are in there. How about some coins?
So 3 books.
3 books. How about a trackable? DuckTales trackable?
DuckTales trackable.
But wait, there's more.
But that's just normal stuff that they might have anyway, right?
Yes, but we've got some
Let's put some more stuff in there.
Let's put some more stuff in the stash. This one is from our good friend John Paul Barr, who will be on the show next week. And he wanted to add something. He didn't know what it was, but he wanted to add something to the fun. And we got others that are wanting to add stuff, which is funny because they were like, well, what is it? I'm like, I can't tell you. Just let me know if you want to put a prize in it. And I'm like, okay. So John Paul donated a coin. So very cool.
Yep.
That's a coin from John Paul Barr from Estonia.
So, books and coins.
Coin, but wait, there's more. I think I do want to do this one tonight because there'll be plenty more. But this one is from our good friend Chris Mackey. Chris Mackey, also a coin.
He knows a little bit about coins.
Yeah, a little bit. So between John Paul Barr and Chris Mackey, you have hit the mother lode of coin designers. So here's the one from. It's an FTF coin from
For the
Chris Mackey.
audio listeners, yeah, it's a first to find coin.
Yeah.
Nice looking coin.
First to find coin, and it's really kind of cool looking, and it got leaves, and it's a really well done coin. So, but wait, there's more. So, we've got it. One of our path tags is in there. So path tag, of course, and there will be plenty more. So we've got some other ones set up.
So part of the fun of this is we're seeding it to start off with with a few of those things, kind of normal things that we've got going on. But part of the fun of this is as it goes on, we're going to keep adding more and more things to it. So we wanted to start it with a few things, but each week we're going to add more things. And so that's kind of that thing, right? You want to get it soon. You want it to build, but you also want to get it before anybody else gets it. So you can't just like sit on it and figure it out because everybody else is going to figure it out too. So, definitely we will be adding things. We're talking to the sponsors. We're adding some more stuff in. We want it to be fun and rewarding to go after.
Right.
Maybe somebody's second born. That's a prize. I don't know.
Oh
no, we don't have any of that available. But no, we're going to add more things. We like. That's going to be part of the fun for us is adding to the prize pack.
Yep. Now a couple of the questions to ask everybody. So I'll ask. We'll get Angie to answer this one. So where will the clues be located? Where can they find these clues?
That'll be the fun part. So as of right now, we're thinking they're going to be all over online and on the show. So you'll want to be tuning in to the website, the podcast, Instagram, maybe Twitter and Facebook.
Blogs.
Blogs, yeah.
Blogs, the Geocache Talk universe, kind of, so to speak.
Right. Mm-hmm. Could be stuff behind us, not now, but in the future, possibly. Well, it could be behind us. I mean, it's up to y'all. You can figure it, you look for your own clues. Zach?
I was wondering if we could sort of up the ante, Angie, with the prize pack. The winner could actually be the best man at my wedding, and the winner could name your child.
You're going to get her divorced.
Right. I don't know how that'll go for both of us.
She liked your first idea, not so much the second idea. That's what.
Maybe a middle name.
There you go. Wow.
So in fairness, these clues are going to come out. We'll give you some hint kind of as to when they're coming out.
Yeah.
And obviously the first one's, you're not going to be able to solve it off the first one. We're going to tell you what the first clue is tonight. So as time goes on, we'll get more and more specific with the clues, of course, but they will also get a lot harder. So we're going to start off really easy. The one we have tonight is really easy. We're going to give that out before the show's over, but they're going to start off a lot easier, get a lot harder, but this is going to be an ongoing thing. So the prize pack is going to grow as we do this.
Yeah.
And I don't know when, but somebody asked, how quick do you think somebody's going to be able to figure this out? Not yet.
Not yet. No.
We're going to lay the groundwork for it tonight in the first clue, but it's going to be a while before people can figure this one out. Although every time we do something with geocachers and think they can't figure it out yet,
right,
always surprised. So
they'll be surprised. Well, the puzzle, and the one thing too that I think would be good is if somebody wants to, and let us know if you do, but if somebody wants to set up a Facebook group or something where they sort of work as a group, that's fine too. If you want to, let us know what it is, and we'll even advertise if you want to add people to your Facebook group.
So somebody in the chat room asked a good question. I think this is a good point for us. Austin asked, will a clue only appear on one platform or across all platforms? Most likely, like the one tonight, and we'll get to it in a minute, but each clue will probably only appear in one place. So we're not going to blast it out everywhere.
Right.
Now, all the places will be covered eventually, but it'll be different clues. And I think you'll need to put all the clues together to really narrow this down.
Yeah. And one thing we thought about too is the fact that once you start to figure out, okay, there are, I don't know, there's 4 of these, let's say, for example, you're going to start to see on the schedule, there'll be a schedule. So you'll know ahead of time that, okay, this week there'll be a clue for GTS 2, the stash number 2. This week, stash number 2, there's a clue coming out. That way you can kind of start the process of, okay, I've got 3 clues for that one now. I can so we don't want to just put a clue out there and go, well, you figure out which one it is. It's not, that's really wouldn't work.
No.
So
it'll be laid out. It'll be workable, but obviously we have to keep it pretty difficult because we're talking about our group here, right? We are all people that solve puzzles for fun. So, and a lot of them, and really hard ones. So we got to make sure that we definitely got to make sure that it's challenging enough.
Challenging, right?
We want that prize pack to grow, right? Sponsors going to kick in stuff. We got to grow that prize pack.
Right. We don't want to make it so hard because I use the example of The Secret. With but with Brandon, what's his name? Price. The guy he buried 12 of these things, figuring that everybody would figure them out, and only 2 of them have found. And I don't know if anybody ever find the other 10.
He wasn't dealing with geocachers though.
No, he wasn't. But then again, geocachers probably have looked at his book. I've looked at it. It's people are still looking for the other 10. They haven't found him. So obviously, to me, it was too hard. I mean, he died in an unfortunate accident, but there's this balance that we've talked about as far as the Geocache Talk network of.
And try not to give it away has been the hardest thing for the last
Yes.
6+ months. So
at least that
and
long.
Keith is in the chat room and mentioned something that there may end up being some FTF stuff in there too. Magazines.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, FTF magazine is going to help us out. Everybody, several of them are going to help. Are wanting to jump in and give some prizes. I know that AMS travel sales. I mean, think about it. Not only get this, you might get like a discount on a trip to Costa Rica.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, now we're starting to talk about some real
building it up.
Like
So
it's got
before we forget,
like a monetary value to it. You know,
what does somebody do if they actually find one and get the code? What do they do?
Here's what you have to do. Number one, you're going to make sure. Well, number one is you take it. This is the funny part about the stash. Don't leave it. So you're going to collect the geocache because it's not a geocache; it's a stash. So take it from its location. A, grab it. B, you want to take a photo of where you found it so you can like ultra confirm that you actually did find it. So you got to take your photo where you're at with the stash, with the code, which will be inside of it. And with all that information, do not tell anybody.
No. Don't put it on Instagram and Facebook and everything else.
Don't put it out there. The only thing you can do to get credit for it is you have to email us at geocachetalk@gmail.com and send us the information, and we will confirm that you actually did find it.
So
Kinda like,
geocaching is jumping into. They said there'll probably be something from them.
There you go.
Keep growing. So
this thing's growing like crazy. It makes me think of Zach. It's a little like Mother's Challenge because if I understand Mother's Challenge correctly, is you just can't claim you found it and move on. You actually have to send him the information that you actually did find it. Is that right? There's something.
Yep. Yeah, he has to come and kind of individually verify. He's really good about that. I don't think he lives too far away, and I think everyone that's found it, he's been over there immediately.
Right.
But yeah, that's sort of the process they go through.
Yeah.
For that. Also, if you don't mind, can I personally add to the prize pack?
Absolutely. Yeah, you got something? Sweet.
How about I will gift you a premium membership for a year, personally.
Wow, there you go.
Premium I like that.
We got a premium membership involved in this already.
Just remind me of that, like a year from now, or 10 years from now, or 100 years, whenever they find one.
Well, yeah, no, we'll have to get into that too here in a minute. But
no, it won't take 100 years.
No.
There's a hint. There's a hint.
Oh, there's a hint. It won't take. No, it might take. Who knows how long? But all right, a couple questions. I know, and I'm sure there's more. Jesse, you're collecting questions, I assume, from the chat room, maybe, or.
Yep.
A lot of discussion, I'm sure. You don't have to find all of them.
Nope.
As I mentioned, you just got to find one. And at that moment, boop, everything collapses onto that one, and you get all the prizes of that one. So multiple stashes, but once you find it, it's the game ends. If somebody else wants to find one, we'll give you something for it, but it won't be near like that.
Yeah.
We mentioned about where the clues will be located. You can go. They're all out there. So you can go. Well, you're not going to have enough information to go find them yet. But as soon as you feel like you have enough information, I guess you could go make a trip somewhere, right? I mean, in theory.
Yeah. Obviously, you can try and go and do as many as you want. So just to clear it up, because the questions are in the chat room, the first one is the prize. Whoever gets there first wins the prize. The remaining ones that are out there, we will give something to people, like if you find it after that, because we want to collect them all at the end. We're not going to leave them out there.
Yeah.
Just like archiving a real cache, you shouldn't just leave it out there in the wild somewhere, because then it's the opposite of Cedo, right?
Right.
Cash in, trash in. So we will. Yeah. So the one winner will be the first one to find one and send us the information. And somebody else mentioned so they'll kind of get more precise over time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Start more vague, but be easy. Get more precise, but be a lot more difficult. So that's kind of the progression of that.
Yep. And we're going to give them out. We're not going to like give all the clues to this to GTS 1. At first we thought that we were let's give all the clues to the first one, but then we're like, well, if we do that,
we'll keep it nice and even.
Yeah, we're going to even them out.
Right.
Because we want to give everybody sort of in a sense on the lower 48 at least an opportunity to start gathering the clues, and then because we're going to give you the first clue tonight here in a moment, which will give you sort of a starting point, right?
Yep. So before we give that clue, let's do the 5-second summary of the whole thing. Who wants to take that?
You'd be good. You're the best at that.
But you know what? I think it's Angie's time. We keep talking all over her and let her do it.
I know.
Come on, Angie, you got it.
I'm taking notes. So there's going to be a blog post out too. I'm going to write one for the Geocache Talk blog. It'll be for this first Friday of August. So it'll have everything there. We'll make sure it all is hammered out too. So
that's good. So the notes will be there for them.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the best place for all the rules then.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're right on the blog, and then we can link it to our schedule. But for the most part, this is like a scavenger hunt. We'll give you clues. And you'll have to go find a container, and the clues are going to be posted all over on all of our social media, on our website, everything connected to the Geocache Talk. And then you get a clue. We said how often we're giving a clue?
There'll be one a week. There'll be
one a week.
One a week.
And it's going to be organized with a schedule, so you'll know when a clue has been posted and which stash it's talking about.
Right.
And then when you get to one, you have to take a picture, prove it that you were there, take the container, and then email geocachetalk@gmail.com with the code.
Yes.
And then if you're first, you get all the prizes. That's virtually there. And if you find it after the first one's found, you'll get a consolation prize.
Right. Very good.
Pretty good. And the prize pack is going to continue to grow.
Yeah,
So
and we're going to
post it with a few things right now, but it's going to continue to grow as we go through.
And we're going to post on the website. We'll post the schedule. We'll post the loot, so you can kind of if you're like, what was all that's inside of it, and it'll grow, and you'll get to see what all's inside of it. Eventually, there's going to be a point where you're like, okay, I've got to go try to find this thing now because it's premium membership. It's got coins. It's got books.
And much more. We already know some of the other things that are going in it, so much more. And this is a long haul type thing. This is not a 2-week promotion. This is going to go on for a while. We're not going to give it all out to start. And so people will have time to get on board, catch up, work with whoever they're going to work with. Yep. So this is not going to be a one and done over in a couple weeks. So just as a warning.
Yeah. Don't get frustrated. Go ahead, Zach.
I also wonder too, if we, release the schedule on when things are going to come out, or kind of give people a hint so that when it's like, okay, well, the final clues will be about around this point, and I know I'm generally heading to this area. Maybe some people just choose one and just take a trip and take a chance out there.
Yep. Yeah. There will be a schedule coming out with more information as well. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good point, because we want people to know that it starts tonight, and whenever we get to the point where we've given out all the clues we're going to give out, we'll let you know. It's like, that's it. All the clues have now been given out, and we're thinking about the end of the year, right? I think that's roughly when the last clue.
Before then, we'll have them all in before then. So
so that's the plan, is to get them all out before the end of the year, and then sit back and hopefully people can eventually figure it out. So
absolutely,
I'm sure somebody will figure it.
So I think it's time for our first clue.
Our first clue tonight, Jesse.
Oh, I get to do it.
I'll let you do it.
Okay. So this one, again, as we said, it's going to start more vague. They're going to be easy, but it's going to start more vague. And as they get more specific, get a lot harder. Yep. So it's kind of sliding scale. So the first clue tonight is It applies to all of the stashes, which again, you don't know how many there are.
Right.
It applies to all the stashes. To find this clue, you will need to go to the Geocache Talk website. The clue has something in common with the guest from show number 98.
There you go. Perfect.
We'll see. Let's see how quickly. Again, you never underestimate geocachers.
Never. People have already gotten the first. I mean, people have already probably pulled up the first clue. And
I know. So this one's a easier one. Be prepared. They're going to get really, really difficult from here.
Yeah, but I think what's good is the fact that people will know this clue applies to all of them, and each week
all of them.
All of them. Yeah. This is a clue to help you with all of the stashes, however many there are. And then next week's we'll let you know. We'll let you know what it applies to. That way, because you got to be able to do that. You got to be able to do that.
All right. So I'll read it one more time before we finish.
Okay.
This first clue applies to all of the stashes. To find this clue, you will need to go to the Geocache Talk website. The clue has something in common with the guest from show number 98.
There you go.
There we go. And actually, we're not going to even publish this on audio, so nobody's ever going to get it again. No more podcasts, just the video. No, I'm just
That's
kidding.
it. No.
So everybody will have a chance.
Yep.
That clue's going to remain in place, and we'll see how it goes.
Cool. Zach, I'm gonna let you have some final thoughts before I go to the upcoming shows. What are your thoughts? I mean, tell us kind of what your thoughts are. I know you've obviously been involved in this and the process. What are your tell people what your reaction is?
I'm super excited. I've been on the chat room watching that a bunch tonight, and it seems people are pretty excited about this too.
Cool.
Geocaching is doing their own things to make the game a little more exciting, and we're just doing our little part to add a little side mini game, to the sport we love, and to give back to the viewers and give them something that they can really go out. And I do have a feeling that as people listen to this, there's going to be a lot of people calling in offering prizes that they can mail in, or virtual ones that they're willing to send whenever we release that. And so I feel like whoever finds this is going to just come into a windfall of geocaching stuff.
That's awesome.
And that's like so cool to like visualize like their excitement, and then also them, getting all that stuff, and being a geo celebrity for a day.
Right. They will be. They really will be.
They'll be the person that found it.
So without giving away any clues, what was for you? What was it like for you to be involved in actually putting out one or more stashes?
Well, I want people to know that this has been a very long time in the talking. Mm-hmm. So, it's not even as simple as just recently figuring out who we might have been in contact with or where we might have been. It's been so long. So it's been a fun process to just figure out what I want to do for, the ones I worked on. Mm-hmm. And these clues are going to be a lot of fun. Just the mystery surrounding it, the ideas that I'm excited to see what people's ideas and thoughts are coming in.
Right.
It should be a lot of fun. And, I think in the future, we're going to have just knowing that this is going to be a game. I think people I come in contact with or places I go, it's always going to be something in the back of my head. So I might be working on future ones. So, if you want to follow my future.
Right.
Yeah. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter.
That's right. Go watch the vlog.
Just in case it helps future games. No, but this could be a lot of fun.
Yep.
And we're a very active couple of people, and we know a bunch of really active people. So this could be something that continues as a great continuous promotion for the show, that like each year, every so often, we're doing this. And when one game ends, like the next one's already been in the works.
It works. I love it. Yeah, you're exactly right. Cool.
Yeah.
So
I didn't give anything away, right?
No, you didn't. You did great. You did great. So like I said, we've been doing this planning for a long time, and so Angie, your thoughts on you're because we've all been active in this, Angie as well. So, so what are your thoughts on?
I think it's really exciting, and when you first came to me with it, I was like, "Whoa, I don't know how this is going to work, but I want to help. I want to figure it out." And I think that's cool because it makes us really think too of how we're going to bring these clues out. How's it going to piece together? And I mean, it's a really cool idea. And I think that would be like my advice to anyone trying to participate is to stay organized. You know, I saw Cache Canada mention this in the chat. He was saying how, you know, follow all our accounts, make sure that you're paying attention each week. And it's going to be really fun to see how this is built up and everybody participating. It's really random too. I feel like, or, you know, like people aren't going to think their immediate thoughts probably won't be
right.
You know, I don't know how to say that. But
well, it's okay. And so there's that part, but you also were able to be involved in one or more stashes. So what are your thoughts on the process that you went through to do some of those? Because we can't tell people how many, but you were actually involved as well in the stashes. So, which is kind of cool.
It was really fun to choose the location. I think all of us chose cool locations from what I've heard. So you're not only solving this puzzle, but I think it'll probably bring you to a pretty cool spot if you find one. So bonus for that. Yeah. Bonus tonight. Well, and that's part of I think that's kind of part of the whole thing too, was that it was neat to do that. So Jesse, what are your thoughts for tonight?
I hope it's fun for everybody. We've had fun playing it over the last several months, and it's now just getting started so we can finally talk about it in public.
Finally.
We wanted to do something that was fun, just kind of like Geocaching does promotions. It's a game within the game for prizes, and something we can all kind of... Geocaching is cool in that it's like this secret game, you know, that we play. Although when those other games came out and now everybody asks you, are you playing Pokemon? It's not as secret as it used to be.
Right.
So now we get our secret inside the secret game. So I think it's going to be fun. And I look forward to how it goes and, you know, how it progresses. And, hey, even if it flops, it's a lot of fun, right? But I've already had fun already just getting it started. So you got to try new things. If not, it gets boring. So I hope this ends up being a lot of fun for everybody, and we'll go from here. And please don't ask us personally because we're dying for stuff to get out, but we can't let it out. So
we can't. No,
as much as we want to. So
well, and that's the thing now is there's a lot on the line. So we really can't give out anything else. I mean, really, that's, you know, other than we've given, because there's a lot. I mean, there's a premium membership, and who knows what else is going to be added to the stash. I mean, we're talking about, you know, I mean, the coins are expensive, you know, but when you start adding in all these other items, you're talking about some real prize, like real money prizes almost.
What I do know is that we have to call it quits, because the more we say, knowing that we know stuff, in the chat room, people are already starting to put their brains together and stuff.
Right.
So we have to zip it before we say anything extra.
Exactly.
It's funny how quick, man, geocachers are so smart when it comes to puzzles.
No.
Right.
Funny the information in the chat room already.
Right.
They're already doing a mathematics equation on how many there could be within 48 states being within 3 states of each other.
Right.
So so go to the clue, get started tonight. You'll have a start, and you'll be narrowing it down from there. So over time.
The trick, though, with that one, by the way, Zach, is you really have to know how many before you can really start that process.
Stop.
Oh, yeah. But they're setting a ceiling.
We're going to give it away.
There's a ceiling.
Look for the clue. That's all I have to say. I feel like it's hard not to say.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I think at least one person has already found the first clue. So
already done?
They already found it? Cut it. Zip it. No more words.
Let me see if I got an email. Wait, I got an email with the answer already. So the first one, so the game is over.
Gosh, you're good, guys. No, I
found one. That's awesome.
I like what Austin said. He said, "Let the rabbit hole thoughts begin."
That's right. We're gonna give
So-
some away in our rabbit holes off. There's no doubt.
Yeah, we're gonna torment their dreams tonight.
Right. All right. Upcoming shows. So, show 109, John Paul Barr is going to be on, and he's going to talk about how geocoins are made, which I think is cool. I mean, have you ever wondered what the process? I mean, I understand they're cool and we love them. There's the one from Chris Mackey, but I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, but how is this, other than the obvious, but how is this process done? And what do they go through? What does a designer go through? And so John Paul Barr will be on. Now, he lives in Estonia, which is wonderful, but that means that instead of having it in the middle of the night, which sometimes he's been on the show, been on the chat room at 4 a.m., we are going to move the show up next week. It'll be a 2 p.m. show next week. We try not to do that every week because would be rough. It's rough on Jesse and I to try to do a 2 p.m. Sunday, but we try to spread out our international guests. But anyway, so John Paul Barr will be on next week. 2 p.m. is that show. The week after, show 110, August 5th, is Scott Burks and Shorty Knits are going to be on, which is really exciting to have them on. Just kind of neat to be able to have them on the show. They're cool folks. We love them to death, and they'll be on. And we're going to talk about sort of an end of summer push, and they're in the northern climate, and so we're going to talk about the differences is for them. And they just finished a long little league that they've been involved in, so we're going to get some insight into what their plans are for the end of the summer push. And then in 3 weeks, speaking of puzzles, we're going to have on Electric Water Boy. He's going to be on talk about puzzles, and that'll be fun.
Guy?
Who's that guy?
Who's that guy? It's not like he's in the chat room tonight or anything.
No, or that he's in the FTF magazine every month or every time. But yeah, so Electric Water Boy will be on. Give us a different perspective. Help us with puzzles. I'm sure he'll give some insight into his suggestions for people to follow the finding a GTS. So anyway, all right. So that's it for tonight. Let me get to my notes where I do my reading. I guess don't have a copy of it.
You don't have it memorized?
I don't have it memorized, so we're just gonna wing it tonight. So
were you gonna do the breakdown of patrons? Not to interrupt, but
oh yeah, we never did that. We'll keep that for some other week.
Yeah.
We'll keep
another show. Drink.
Another show. We'll do that for another show. Drink. Take a little drink. All right. So that's it for tonight. Hang on. I'll get to my notes. That'll be fine. Here, just 1 second. Just give me 1 quick second to wrap up. Oh, never mind. I can't find it. All right. Follow us on Twitter. Geocache Talk. Very important, obviously, to follow us on Twitter now on Geocache Talk, or it won't be. We won't use personal. We'll use the show stuff. So maybe, yeah. Instagram.
Maybe it'll be on Facebook. Maybe it'll be.
Might be on Facebook. Yeah.
My old MySpace account.
Yeah, no, MySpace. Vine, is Vine still out there? No,
Vine, Vimeo, all those things.
Don't get me started on Vine.
Don't get them started. So Twitter at Geocache Talk, at Gary Slinkard, one word. Instagram, Geocache Talk, one word. Memphis Mafia, Instagram. Don't forget to follow the show. Click on the link below. Not only click on the link, you got to what do they say? Ring the bell. You got to ring the bell.
Get you with the lingo.
So, there you go. So that you get reminded every week about the show, because now you're in. You got clue 1. You got to stick around for the rest of them. So anyway, do like Zach and Angie and Jesse and myself, and don't just talk about geocaching. You need to get out and geocache and try to find a geocache and find a stash. So good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.